Sarah Clancy.
Unlike the previous performance, this is my second published poem, so I'm still delighted enough to be going, cool. This is actually, probably doesn't sound it, but it's actually a bit of a political poem as well. It's a poem I wrote about a man called Pat O'Donnell, who you may or may not have heard of. He's a fisherman from Paris in Rossport. I was trying to write a poem about the situation on down there, and then I realised it wasn't what I was saying at all. I was just saying that these guys are salt of the earth. So this is called My Kind of Men. I grew up with them. Not your office shirt and gelled hair aftershave type. Fishermen with thick hair full of salt. Dealing men living on their wits and getting pretty thin. Men with codes no bank has ever heard of for behaviour, and weird ethics no judge could hope to understand. They had phrases: humpy cow, humpy calf, right girl wanted, a minute's thinking is worth an hour of running, or damn me if there's not as big a fool as me here somewhere only to find him. They had ropes, jump leads, old long-used wrenches, dockets and empty cigarette pockets on dashboards. They made sounds of fraternity. A shout is a great man when you're lifted. Shared wordless noises that could collaborate and join them. These guys could spot each other at the counter in the takeaway or on the ferry to Le Havre with butchered accents. They'd driven loads of oranges from Spain to the communist bloc and applied their dealer's logic to everything they saw. They pulled drowning people out of caves, shot dogs that wanted it, tolerated nothing in others, and made sounds approaching conversation.
Margaret Mary Glasgow.
Short and sweet. I call this workshop and I dedicate it to Bridget. She's not here tonight, but a friend of mine, so she inspired the poem. A hungry quest for knowledge hangs in the air. Words, images, avenues open like bursting seams. Meeting of worlds vast as floating oceans. Downstream glistening beneath moonbeams. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Margaret Mary. Brian Blaney.
This poem is called Sailing. It's inspired by the advice that you should say only what you should say in poems. Sailing. In boats parallel, pens like oars dipped in slipstreams, glance occasionally into wakes of other lines. Seeing joys missed, reflected, sorrows too not known, familiar. Along the way a shoreline shout, someone smiles approval. Renewed, we put our backs into the oars again. Such is our existence, sailing. Our craft, the vessel. Our vessel, craft. Searching streams of consciousness for estuaries of arousal. And in the awakening streams, realize the pinprick we have made is but the needle point, the mariner's compass, stuck in the crest of a rolling wave. Yet try we must and mark the spot, or pull hard about. With luck we'll catch the tide upon the turn. See that smile still on the shore. Perhaps return the shout, but in that call, say only what we must.
Thank you very much, Brian. And now from Tom Maloney we have a poem entitled Dr. Carroll's Relaxant. Tom Maloney.
Century, some of you will be aware, the Romantic poets took extracurricular activity when they were writing poems. I think particularly of Coleridge, Kubla Khan. So I was there during the summer as a 21st century poet, I had an operation on my leg, and the anaesthetist suggested to me that what I was going to take was going to be very pleasurable, but I actually want more. He was right. So anyway, I fell asleep and woke up, supposed to half an hour later, and first thing I said to the nurse, Florence was her name, I said, any chance you'll go by, I'll try to stand straight away. And this was the Dr. Carroll's relaxant. No doubt, but you knew that I was fasting. Easily cajoled to try anything, as you shook my hand, announcing yourself, outlining what you were going to be doing. In so many words it came down to one: what you were offering was divine. And if that wasn't enough, an anecdote, how others whom you'd injected with your stuff wanted to take some home, a second helping. You were convincing, just seconds needling me under my gown on loan to cover everything worth bringing along on my knockout trip. Settling down, I looked up at the ceiling, could overhear probably the tower looking for clearance. Are we ready, everybody? The theatre speeding up along the runway, Dr. Carroll checking if everything was okay, the plane climbing, not a cloud in sight, me under control in the cockpit, I pent on high on my divine breakfast, as near to my maker as I could hope to get. So hurrah for the blue sky of the summer morning, looking down on Shannakeel's orthopedic hip decision to stitch the joint on my left.
Thank you very much, Tom. Now it's commercial time. There are plenty of copies of Revival for sale for a mere €7, and we're taking 5 while you liberate your wallets. 5 minutes.